If you're new here, welcome to New Chapter. Here we read incredible books so you don't have to, or at least you don't have to in the same amount of time. Welcome back to our continuing series of the psychology of money. If you haven't watched the first 2 chapters yet, please check them out here. Let's get started. Chapter 3, Never Enough. There's a famous story Morgan tells at the start of this chapter. Why is enough important? Well, consider the parable of the prodigal son. You may have heard it before. A father has 2 sons. The younger one wants his inheritance early. He gets it and leaves. Now rich, he wastes all his money on partying and luxury. Soon he's broke and hungry. He returns home ashamed, expecting his father to be angry. But the father welcomes him back without judgment. He throws a big feast, celebrating the son's return. Now that's a lot to unpack. But let's focus on the older brother. He's working in the fields when he hears the music and commotion. He enters and sees his father embracing his younger brother. He complains that he's worked hard all his life and never received such a celebration. The father responds by telling him that the younger brother was dead and now he's alive. He was lost and now he's found. The father says, and we had to celebrate. We had to be glad. The older brother represents those who have enough, maybe even more than enough. Yet they remain unsatisfied. Why? Because they measure their happiness based on what others have, not on what they themselves possess. They forget that gratitude and contentment, not possessions, are the true sources of joy. Now, before we move on to Chapter 4, here as a quote from Chapter 3 that I believe embodies its essence. People whose appetites are constantly being stoked by marketing and social media campaigns spend their lives trying to fill a void that can never be filled with stuff. Even though more stuff does bring temporary amusement, it doesn't deliver lasting fulfillment. Thank you for listening. Now, if you want to learn more about how to achieve financial freedom and well-being, I invite you to subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you'll gain access to free educational videos like this one. Additionally, you'll receive notifications about our upcoming book summary, which promises to be equally insightful. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join our community of lifelong learners. Let's grow together. Thank you and see you soon. Let's continue. Part 2. The Case of Rajat Gupta and Bernie Madoff. Housel gives 2 real-life examples, Rajat Gupta and Bernie Madoff. Gupta was a respected businessman who rose from nothing to the top of global finance. He was already wealthy and admired, but he wanted more. So he risked it all in an insider trading scandal. He lost his career, reputation, and freedom. Madoff built a fortune running the largest Ponzi scheme in history. He didn't need to do it. He could have lived comfortably for life. But again, it wasn't enough. These men fell not because they were struggling. They fell because they didn't stop when they had more than enough. Greed isn't always about needing money. It's often about ego, about comparison, about not wanting to feel second best. To avoid this trap, we must examine our motivations. Ask yourself, why do you want more? Is it to feel more secure or to simply feel better than others? Be honest with yourself. Do you really need another luxury item, or is it just another symbol in your status game? Remember, there's a difference between wanting something for yourself and wanting it to impress others. True contentment comes from within, so look deep inside. Identify your driving forces. Recognize if you're replaying someone else's game, and ask yourself if the price you're repaying to win that game is worth it. Maybe it is. Maybe you find joy in the competition, the challenge, the thrill of the chase. In that case, play on. But make sure you're not crossing the line into destructive behavior or sacrificing your core values. After all, what is the point of reaching the finish line if you no longer the person who started the race? Part 3. Redefining enough. So what is enough? Housel isn't saying we shouldn't pursue success, but he's urging us to define limits. Enough means recognizing what you value most and knowing when more won't make you happier. He writes, enough is realizing that the opposite and insatiable appetite for more will push you to the point of regret. We need to build internal boundaries. Ask yourself, if you never earned more money, would your life still be good? If no one saw your success, would it still matter to you? Enough isn't just about income. It's about peace, time, freedom, health, and relationships. The richest person is the one who doesn't need more to feel complete. How do we redefine enough? Firstly, we must identify what we genuinely value. Is it financial security, strong relationships, or living a life of purpose? Perhaps it's about the freedom to pursue your passions or the luxury of time to enjoy your hobbies. Whatever it is, make it clear, tangible, and emotionally resonant. Next, set specific goals around these values. Instead of vaguely wishing for more financial stability, define a target savings amount, a comfortable retirement age, or a debt payoff deadline. Make it measurable so you can track your progress. Finally, regularly review and adjust these goals. Life changes, priorities shift, and your definition of enough may evolve. Embrace that fluidity and be prepared to adapt. The key is to engage your emotions in the process. Connect your goals to your personal narrative, your dreams, your fears. When your enough is deeply personal, it becomes your guiding star, illuminating the path to contentment. Part 4. The Power of Restraint. Imagine you're standing on the edge of a cliff. The wind is whipping through your hair, and below you, the waves crash against the rocks. You feel invincible. You feel like you can take risks, defy gravity, and nothing bad will happen. But then you remember a wise saying, the man who has everything loses everything. Suddenly, the invincible feeling fades, replaced by a sense of caution. You realize that sometimes having it all means having the potential to lose it all. So you decide to play it safe, to hold on tight to what you have, instead of risking it all for something more. That's the power of restraint, the choice to hold back, to say no to unnecessary risks, to focus on what you have rather than what you could lose. Being content with what you have, enjoying the present moment without constantly chasing the next high, is a form of intelligence. It's understanding that the joy of life isn't in the relentless pursuit of more, but in appreciating what you already possess. It's about finding satisfaction in the journey, not just the destination. Restraint isn't about denying yourself pleasures or sacrificing happiness for some future goal. It's about making conscious choices that align with your values, your needs, and your long-term well-being. It's about asking yourself whether the potential rewards are worth the risks you're taking. In a world that celebrates ambition and encourages us to reach for the stars, restraint might seem like a setback. It might feel like settling for less, but it's far from settling. It's a strategic move. It's a way of protecting what you've worked hard to achieve. Restraint is wisdom in action. It's the ability to resist temptations that promise temporary pleasure but could lead to future pain. It's choosing the path less traveled, the one that leads to genuine fulfillment, rather than the one that society or your ego dictates. Let's sum it up with a few points. 1. Compare less. Constantly comparing yourself to others fuels discontentment. Social media amplifies this by putting a spotlight on others' successes while hiding their struggles. Instead, compare your current self to your past self. Celebrate your progress and the unique path you're on. 2. Define enough early. Determine what truly matters to you. Is it financial security, meaningful work, or close relationships? Having a clear vision of what you value helps you stay focused and avoid distractions. 3. Write them down. Make your goals and values tangible by writing them down. This helps solidify your vision of enough and serves as a reminder of what truly matters when faced with temptations to chase more. 4. Value intangibles. While money and material possessions have their place, they aren't the only measure of a fulfilling life. Prioritize intangibles like strong relationships, good health, inner peace, and the freedom to pursue your passions. 5. Celebrate what you have. Practice gratitude daily. Appreciate the positive aspects of your life, big and small. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering contentment and reducing the urge to chase after more. And here's a quiet challenge. Create your enough list. What amount of money is enough? What kind of home is enough? What kind of work pace is enough? How much recognition is enough? When you define these boundaries, you reclaim peace. Because the world will always offer more. It's up to you to say, I have enough. Thanks for joining me for Chapter 3 of The Psychology of Money. If this gave you something to think about, subscribe to New Chapter for more narrated summaries that don't just explain books, they help you live them. And remember, enough is a decision, not a number. Comparison is a thief. Let it go. Gratitude is freedom. Practice it daily. Until next time, take care, be content, and keep learning.